now, you're tuned into RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hello and welcome back to your RBLR Rays show. We're happy to have you on board with us this week to talk some Rays baseball. I am your host, Pat Davenport. I'm back from the IL. I've been a bit engaged over the past couple of weeks, but not in the way that Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce were engaged, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I'm still on the market.
Oh, man.
But I'll tell you who I'm joined by. I am joined by the wonderful Carter Brantley. Carter, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I was doing better before the Travis Swift pun. Oh man, no, I'm doing well, college football started this week. I know that's sacrilegious to the European ears, but I got to see a cat mascot for Bowling Green University, like just stupid stuff. But yeah, the Rays have been good, the past few games. I don't know if any of our listeners are tuning in, but they just swept the Nationals. Kind of cool. But we'll get into all that. I'm happy to be talking some baseball with you, Pat, and happy you're back.
Yeah. It feels like it's been a minute. So we're going to have to kind of warm my brain up to Rays baseball again, because I've been keeping tabs, but I've been here, there, and everywhere and all over the place the past couple of weeks where I've not been able to kind of have my eyes on every single play of every single game. So it'll be interesting to kind of hear how the Rays have been doing and try and piece together if they've got any chance left in this 2025 season. Before we kick on, I just want to remind you guys, if you've come here before, we try and give the best analysis that we possibly can here on the Tampa Bay Rays. And if you enjoy the content that we bring out, you could do us a massive favor by dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. Both of them are really quick and easy to do, and they help give you updates on any time a new episode goes live. And if you are watching live here on YouTube, you can get involved in the comment section below. And if you've got a question, comment, take any of that good stuff that you want to let us know live, you can do that and we can respond to it live here on the show. If you're new here, then just stay tuned, and hopefully we'll have persuaded you to leave that like and subscribe by the end. So let's start with this week in Rays baseball. It's been a decent week, 4-2 this week, dropping a series, kind of frustratingly, actually, to wildcard rivals Cleveland, where we dropped the kind of rubber game of that series in extra innings. Griffin Jacks dropping the L in that one. But like you said, we're coming off a series sweep of the Nationals. And something I want to start with is the common thread in 2 of our 4 wins this week have been Ian Seymour, who has been outstanding in the rotation since he's been getting some more chances in there. Ian Seymour, who'd have thought he was the new stopper in this rotation?
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's the new Shane McClanahan, I mean, no, I won't go that far, but no, Ian's been great. Yeah. And he does it in the very I don't want to compare him to Ryan Yarbrough, because Yarbs was like a different sort of fella. But he definitely does it his own way. He's throwing a crap ton of changeups, like just a bunch of changeup, like not quite the Tommy Kahnle oops all changeups way, but definitely mixing that pitch in a lot. Not a whole lot of velo, a lot of command, just he's a really fun watch. And I don't know. I'm curious of your thoughts on this, of his spot in the rotation next season, because he's been pitching pretty well. Obviously, a whole month to go, a lot of baseball to be played. But I'll be curious, because the rotation is not really set in stone in my mind. But what are your thoughts on that, Pat?
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand where the Ryan Yarbrough comparison comes from. Like no velo, funky lefty.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I see the vision. That changeup is filth. I know they showed a graphic on the game today where they were like, hitters were like 1 for 20 on his changeup or something like that, and you're like, what? Yeah, he's nuts. And weirdly, I was having a look at his changeup, and it's not even like got crazy break or anything like that. It's just like, I don't know. I think it's the way he just lands so well and puts it in the right place, and then couple that with the off speed nature of it, the speed difference. I think it's like 10 miles an hour slower than his fastball. And I think we're in a world where like change-ups are being thrown at like 93 these days.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hitters aren't ready for a genuine off speed.
Right. Yeah.
And he just has a funky look and funky delivery about him. I think he has a unique release point and all that kind of stuff. He's a unique look. He's a very Rays pitcher. I think.
And his setup is always like on one side of the rubber, like he's never just like coming at you straight ahead. Like it's always like, why is he all the way on? Like it seems like he's all the way at first base sometimes,
Yeah.
And that's great. It's super fun. Super funky, like you said, just a very Rays pitcher. That's a perfect way of putting it. It's just a different look. It's a very different look than the rest of the pitching staff for sure.
Yeah, and when it comes to his place in the rotation, I guess there are spots free, and he's kind of got the runway because Taj is now off the team. And I don't know if we should even bring up the fact that now that he's left the most analytically driven organization in baseball, he's now choosing to read scouting reports. But anyway, because like we know Rasmussen's kind of nailed on in there, and Pepio is going to continue to get run. But with Littell and Bradley got like hopefully next year Shane McClanahan will be back and ready.
Yeah.
Right. So then I guess it comes down to, so if we've definitely got Rasmussen, Pepio, McClanahan, I guess it then comes down to Bars, Seymour. I don't know who else is really in contention for those places. I guess you could throw Joe Rock into that mix, but at the upper levels of the minors, we're not like swimming in pitching talent right now. I know Brody Hopkins is eventually going to start getting into that mix, but I don't know if that's going to be as soon as next year.
Right.
Am I missing someone obvious?
No, I mean, like Joe Boyle. I don't know.
Oh, Joe Boyle. Yeah, Joe Boyle.
Obvious though, like he's very much kind of wait and see kind of fella for sure. I love the Brody Hopkins shout because the Rays love to take their time with pitching prospects, rightfully so. Like they, you don't want to rush anyone through the minors. So you want him to take his time, fully develop. But yeah, Brody Hopkins, whenever he does arrive, is going to be outstanding. It's going to be really fun to watch him do his thing. But yeah, it's just like Shane's really or McClanahan, I should say, not Shane, because then it could be Baz too. But McClanahan's really the big question mark, because if he's there, great. You want to try to give him some time to maybe like build up a little bit. So maybe they go with a 6-man rotate or a 5.5, whatever figure or however you want to put it. Which then maybe Seymour is used as like a bulk guy. Maybe it's not even necessarily a traditional starting rotation spot. It's more of like hey, we're going to need you for 5 innings today, behind an opener or something like that. He seems very malleable.
I mean, sorry to cut you off, but that's like what we did with Ryan Yarbrough.
Right. I mean, right. That's kind of the lazy comparison, I feel like, but at the same time, it's accurate. Sometimes the easiest comparison is the most accurate one. And I love Seymour. He brings good vibes to the team too, which they're in need of it right now. It feels kind of, especially with the pitching staff, like oh man, like you said, the rubber match that they lost to the Guardians, like Pete coming in and blowing a save, and then Jax not being. Although then again, like the offense didn't score a run in the top half of the inning, and Manfred ball. If that doesn't happen, then like you can't really blame the pitching staff for giving up a run. Like that's Major League professional baseball teams are supposed to score a runner from second with no outs. Like that's how it's supposed to work, and the Rays did not do that day. So it's not even necessarily on Jax, but. So the vibes have been rancid, but Ian Seymour has been really kind of, he's got the world on his shoulders. Ian Seymour, who would have thought, right? Like,
I would not have. It was not on my Rays bingo card coming into the year that Ian Seymour would play a pivotal part in the dog days, keeping our playoff hopes alive by a thread.
100%.
I mean, I don't think the Rays are also going to pick up or try and extend Adrian Hauser at this rate.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they traded for him, which it kind of piques my interest, especially because they gave up Meade. Maybe there's a little bit there, but at the same time, like, maybe they just wanted to try to make a playoff push in the final the final Sternberg season or whatever, the last dance. Good gracious, I can't believe we just compared Stuart Sternberg to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. But it's definitely it's definitely something to keep in mind. And with other free agent pitchers too, like the Rays have shown at least a willingness to venture into that area because they're great at identifying areas that pitchers can improve from the outside, and they come in and then they lab them up, quote unquote, and it turns out pretty well most of the time. So if it's not Hauser, it might be someone else, or it might just be nobody. They might just maintain the status quo with the pitching staff, but who knows? I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I wouldn't put it past them to go get like some kind of veteran, like
absolutely,
Charlie Morton type. It may be not as big as Charlie Morton when we signed him, but like a kind of steady veteran to kind of lead the staff, just to be an innings eater. Just because like a lot of our guys will feel like 5 and dives, like Rasmussen, he doesn't go over 6. McClanahan will not be going over 5 very often, especially in the first half. Pepio is the only real guy that you can trust to like put a lot of innings up, but then that depends on him not walking a bunch of guys and being his own worst enemy. So you could do with a guy that's just going to go in there and like, if it's 6 innings, 3 or 4 and runs, at least he's going to give you 6 every time. A guy like that could be worth going for. Especially because none of these guys apart from Pepio are locks to be healthy too.
For sure. Yeah. It's tough to say that because like you don't want to, you don't want to put that on anyone, of course, but it's just, their injury history has been tough with Baz and McClanahan and Rasmussen too. Unfortunately, like it's kind of I don't want to say a ticking time bomb, but it kind of is, it's kind of a matter of when, not if in some cases, but hopefully these are all just us being paranoid and us being, covering all of our bases in terms of, talking about pitcher health and all that. And they're perfectly healthy, they're perfectly fine. So, but yeah, like you said, Pepio has been the only guy who's kind of had the knock on every single surface possible clean bill of health. Of course, I've spoken this into existence. This is my fault if he gets hurt in the next week.
Well, I think the key for Pepio is that he's low-key Spider-Man because he got bit by that spider. He was on the IL for a little bit, and now he's like got super strength, so he can't actually get hurt.
Yeah,
that's what my sources are telling me anyway.
Oh man, yeah.
Daily Bugle.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. JJ is on the case.
So I mean the rotation. It's just weird when we're talking about a Rays team where the rotation is not the clear strength of the team.
Right. Absolutely.
Because it feels like it has been the case, and it feels like the well's running a little dry in the minors on like excellent pitching prospects, where it seemed like we had like infinite pitching. We've got a comment coming in here from Luke. Hopefully, producer Eureka will put it up. Curie will get a shot. Forrest Whitley has been great at Durham, Boyle, then the big 3 at Montgomery, TJ Nichols, Ty Johnson, and Hopkins. Rays won't need to add pitching. It's all about the offense. I like that take. I like the Forrest Whitley take in particular because he has been killing it at Durham.
Yes.
Luke makes a good point, and Ty Johnson is a prospect that really interests me as well. So maybe I'm overblowing the catastrophe.
Absolutely. We could be worrying about nothing. And that's very on par for my mentality. I definitely agree with Lou. And we can get into the offensive side of things too, especially going into next year if you want. Because that's definitely like as much as the pitching staff hasn't necessarily been a strength this year, the offense hasn't been a strength either necessarily. In some aspects, like the big guys like Brandon Lau and Yandy and Junior Caminero, my goodness, have been really doing their thing. Like they've obviously had their cold stretches and whatnot, but they've done their part. Like they've done enough for the Rays to be good. But man, it's those others that have really fallen short, shall we say. And I wanted to focus on, because I know we were talking about it before the show, the outfield. I don't know what your thoughts are on what the Rays are going to do moving forward with that outfield, but good gracious, it was rough at times this year. It was rough.
Yeah. I mean, so the infield feels great.
Yeah.
Because we've got, so at first you could play Yandy or Randa, health permitting, right? And Bob Seymour hasn't been great, but that's fine. He's just a placeholder. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have 2 people with the same last name on the team.
Right.
And then second base, you got Brandon Lau. I do wonder about Brandon Lau in terms of just how long he's going to stay. It feels like the past like three, like the trade deadline, the offseason, and the previous trade deadline, he's been a hot topic name, and he'll continue to be a hot topic name this offseason, as will Yandy Diaz. So you just wonder that when will they ever pull the trigger on moving those guys? When will it happen? It feels like the longer we go, the more likely it's going to happen. I don't know. If we do move on from Brandon Lau, then the second-based options do feel a bit thin. I guess Ha-Seong Kim would be your primary second baseman in that instance,
right?
If he's healthy, because I think he's got a mutual option.
Yeah, and I think he takes it.
Yeah, I think he picks it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough.
So second base feels a little iffy if you move on from Lau.
Yeah,
but at shortstop, you got Carson Williams.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. And then you can potentially move Walls to second too. That's another theoretical option. If Braden Taylor were a little bit closer to being ready, I think that moving on from Lau would make a lot more sense and be like more of a clear cut. Like, yeah, he's good job, Brandon Lau, but it's Braden Taylor time. But he's still in Double-A. And it's going to be a little bit. Moving on from Meade was interesting. I think it was maybe a signal that they are higher on Braden Taylor than they were previously, which is the hope that hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully that means that he's going to be doing good things for the Rays. But yeah, I'm definitely iffy on Brandon Lau's future as well because he's been great this year. But at the same time, like he's another year older. And the injury bug is always going to be there for him. And his defense has taken. Oh man, like a massive step back. Not even a small step back. Like it's like, is this guy a DH or a first baseman at this point? And they already have two of those. So I don't know what they do with him. It's definitely going to be interesting because I don't know what they would get for him in trade. It's tough to evaluate his market because like he's just so like he is bat first with a capital B and a capital F at this point. So yeah, I don't know what they do with the future with that infield, but it's definitely in much better shape than I thought it was going to be in the middle of the season, especially when Aranda went down. I was kind of like, oh gosh, what are we, what are they going to do? But yeah, I'm excited for the 2026 season in terms of the infield, but yeah, the outfield.
Oh, right. Okay. So let's get into it because
yes,
currently our outfield options are, currently we're running an outfield of Josh Lowe, who has been bad this year, but has been really good this week. Particularly had a great series against the Nationals.
Oh yeah.
If he can, because me personally, Zach did not want to hear this. I don't think, because he's a big JLo guy. I was this close to pulling the plug on Josh Lowe. I was about to be done with him. Are you done with him?
I'm not done with him, but I wouldn't be like up in arms if they were like, it's the Rays, like, they're a smart organization, all that stuff. So whatever they decide is fine. But like, I'm definitely not like opposed to them moving on or moving in a different direction. Cause it's not even necessarily Josh Lowe as a quality guy or anything like that. It's not even necessarily his level of play that I'm necessarily concerned about, although it hasn't been great either. It's more about like, even if you do get necessarily a solid Josh Lowe, is he going to be able to stay on the field? That's kind of a big concern. So just even not necessarily moving on from him, but just having a contingency plan, because like, I don't know how accountable you can, or how much you can rely on him for that kind of thing, for just staying healthy. But yeah, I don't know. We'll get to the other guys too, because the other guys aren't great either. But Josh Lowe. I'm not out on Josh Lowe, but I'm not in on Josh Lowe either.
I came into this season and I said this during our like spring training pods. I was like, this is a big year for Josh Lowe to like prove that he's not a fluke, like that 2023 wasn't a fluke. Because 2022 was bad. 2024 he was hurt, and when he was in, he was bad. So he's currently had 2 bad / injured years and 1 good year, and now he's having another bad / injured year. I'm like, the hit rate has not been great.
Right.
Maybe you could give him 1 more year, but you would need other players in that outfield that you're not making Josh Lowe like the thing you're depending on.
Right, exactly. And I'm kind of hesitant to bring this up because like the center field shortstop catcher combo, like being strong up the middle, that's always been like the Rays philosophy, having three strong defenders at those positions because they're super high impact defensive positions, and super agree with that, like 100%, no disagreement at all. But that does mean that you want to get at least league average offensive production from the corners, and they have been getting superlative production from the infield corners. But man, in terms of right and left field, it's been brutal. And Josh Lowe has unfortunately played a part in that this year, especially in the months of July and August. He was absolutely brutal, just like 50% below league average in July, and then August not really that much better. So it'd be great if they could, even if it's not Josh Lowe, but maybe they bring in another potential corner outfield starter. Because it's not that great in left field either. Morel and Simpson and Mangum, whoever it's been, they've all been kind of bad. But I know we have a comment coming in, right? I think we've got someone chiming in. Our producer, there we go.
It's Luke. It's Luke again. Okay.
Hey, Luke.
Hi, Luke. We know what the future of the left side of the infield is. That's true. It's Carson Williams and Junior Caminero. The right side is the question. The outfield has a lot of fourth outfielder types. Maybe Trey Morgan plays a lot of left field next season. Hard to predict the outfield. Ooh. I completely agree that the problem with the outfield is we don't know what it's supposed to look like. Right. I don't think there's an immediate plan for the outfield.
For sure.
I like the Trey Morgan shout in left field.
I don't know. I might have to disagree with Luke on this one because he could step in to the majors and immediately be the best first baseman defensively in baseball. Like it wouldn't even like necessarily be a problem. I get Yandy is the DH and Jonathan Aranda is, the first baseman right now. But I would love for Jonathan Aranda to maybe be able to get adjusted to becoming a full-time DH because his bat too important to not have in the lineup. Totally agree. But it would be so cool if like Trey Morgan at first, Jonathan Aranda DHing. That to me is the ideal situation because then I think like you take an already pretty good defensive infield with Carson Williams, and Junior has been taking some steps forward for sure. And whenever Braden Taylor gets there, like he's a converted shortstop, I think he'll be pretty solid at second. And that could potentially be like the best infield defensively in baseball. Like it could be like an already good infield and Trey Morgan gets there and it's like, oh shoot, like this is really good. Like this is really cool. I know that's first base defense isn't necessarily like super sexy or anything, but it can make an impact. Christian Walker, it's not the worst thing in the world to have an elite Gold Glove caliber first baseman. And I think that impact is higher than a corner outfield spot. But I do see where he's coming from, where Luke is coming from, because like first base is a teensy bit crowded right now. But
and left field is not.
Right, exactly. Yeah, left field is empty, like it's void of all. Yeah, so I totally get it. Like, and if that ends up happening, if they think he's athletic, enough to be more valuable in left, cool. I'm not going to argue with it, but man, he's so good at first. Like he's so much fun to watch at first. Like you can't really say that too much about first baseman, honestly.
Yeah, I get that. And this is the problem is, so Everson Pereira has been getting a lot of reps in center field. Is there a future for Everson Pereira to be a regular outfielder?
I would love it if he could figure it out. Definitely worth keeping around, I think, for like spring training next year. Maybe giving him a shot to get some runway to some playing time. Because he's got some, some talent.
Toolsy.
Yeah, he's got some talent in terms of power, and he's can play a decent center field. But it's just, with DeLuca there, he's not taking DeLuca's spot, and then his value gets a lot lower because then he moves to a corner spot. And it's like, he doesn't hit well enough to be a corner outfielder. But then again, no one on the Rays is really hitting well enough to be a corner outfielder. So who am I really saying? But I don't know. I hope so, because it would be cool if he could figure it out. He's, like you said, he's very toolsy. The talent is there. I just don't know that he's going to get the opportunity necessarily with the Rays at the major league level. But then again, DeLuca's been hurt. So I don't know. He's not the worst guy to keep around on the 40-man.
Yeah. And then we've got the other options that are currently kicking about. We know Chandler Simpson, who's like the crazy turn the speed and contact slider all the way to the top.
Right.
And the power and fielding slider all the way to the bottom.
Yes.
Which I kind of love as an archetype, but I actually don't because I find his fielding infuriating.
Yes. Yes.
But it feels like he could get there.
I hope so. I think if he got an off season to in a full spring training in the major league camp, I do think that there's like his athleticism is just, I mean, it's insane. Like he's one of the fastest players in baseball. So if he can just figure out how to play the outfield, maybe if he just gets a little bit more time, maybe he starts in AAA next year. Maybe they send him back down to Durham and say, hey man, go figure some stuff out. Like we don't need the pressure of playing on a major league stage. And maybe that's what happens, and maybe he turns out better for it. But yeah, he's been tough to watch out there. He's been really, really tough to watch. There's been some plays that a normal, even just average defensive outfielder needs to make. There have been some plays that he just has not made. And it's been brutal to watch because his arm is non-existent too. Like he's got, the 20 arm strength, if you want to put it on a grading scale or whatever. And yeah, like if he can turn himself into a solid major league outfielder defensively, then he can be a solid major league player. But right now that's just not happening. So it's been difficult to watch him go out there because he is a really fun player, but fun players don't necessarily always win ball games. As much as I would love for that to be true, unfortunately, that's just not always the case.
Yeah, we need Chandler Simpson to be the new neon version they put out of him on MLB The Show.
That's right.
He's got like 60 power instead of like 10 power.
Yeah,
and he's got like 70 fielding instead of 40 fielding. Right. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, which is bonkers. But I also get like it's the team affinity series, so they have to. And he's a 99, so they had to juice up his ratings. Yeah, he's definitely fun when you're not paying attention to what he's doing in the outfield. If you're just looking at his stolen bases and his ability to put the ball in play, it is super fun. But yeah, if you're looking at him from a value perspective, it's definitely not great.
He's such a hard one to evaluate. Even like if everything clicks for him where he becomes an average defender, you go, how valuable is this actually? Like, right. It's hard to figure out. It's really hard to figure out because I don't think he fits into WAR very well because like his OPS isn't going to be that high because he only hits singles and base running isn't as highly factored. Say like a triple gets you more WAR than a single and 2 stolen bases.
Sure. Yeah. And that's a good point. Like it's hard to really value him purely on WAR because of that, like you said. But and there's a lot of small things like the base running component, like the fear factor sort of like that's hard to quantify. Like I think Kyle Schwarber this season has kind of run into that with how he just continues to just hit tank after tank after tank. And it's hard to quantify like the fear factor that comes with having him in the lineup. Because he is just DHing and Chandler Simpson isn't a DH only, but like he might as well be sometimes with positional value. So it's hard to use WAR to evaluate him for sure. But at the same time, he needs to be better defensively. Like it's not even a WAR thing. It's not anything like that. It's just in order for him to be a major league player, you have to be able to play defense at a higher level than that. If you're going to have just non-existent power numbers. So it's been tough to watch him, but at the same time, the talent is certainly there and he can be electrifying when he's doing all of his stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in terms of other like fourth outfielder types, like Luke put it, Jake Mangum, who like I have described to others as like, if Ichiro got like a debuff, like a huge, like if Ichiro got like a 40% debuff, like insane contact ability, really good at hitting slap singles, can occasionally run into one, like not completely devoid of power,
right?
But and can play like good defense, but not great defense.
Yeah, it's just tough because he just swings at everything. For the love of God, take a pitch. Like, oh my goodness, like watching him taking at bat is really frustrating sometimes because it's like, man, brother, you can not swing. Like you don't have to swing at everything. It's very much not Luis Arias batting champion. Luis Arias right now is sort of what Jake Mangum is, and that's not a good thing. That's not a compliment. It can be frustrating to watch him sometimes because like you said, he's very much a slap hitter, like you said, the Ichiro, and it's tough because I love like switch hitters are so much fun. They're so rare nowadays. And I'd love for him to actually be good, but oh man, he's frustrating to watch out there. And Christopher Morel has been like kind of good recently. And he hasn't really been getting as much playing time as I think that he deserves. But at the same time, like he was rough to start the year, like really, really bad. And you can't put him anywhere because like as bad as Chandler Simpson has been in left, Christopher Morel might even be worse. Which, it's left field. It doesn't really matter that much. Randy Arozarena wasn't really very good out there either, but Christopher Morel's not hitting like Randy Arozarena. You know what I mean? So it's tough. If they give Morel a little bit more playing time to finish the year, and maybe he can find his power stroke and all that stuff, because he's hitting the ball hard. It's just he's not hitting it hard enough, or he's not hitting it enough for it to really matter that he's hitting the crap out of the ball. It's just kind of a rare occurrence at this point. So hopefully he can continue kind of his hot streak, quote unquote, and finish out the year strong, because then he could be a left field option. Then maybe it is truly just Morel and Josh Lowe in the corners, and they figure some stuff out. And that's not the worst idea in the world, I guess, but we'll see.
And one person we haven't mentioned, because he's been out of our sight, so he's been out of our mind, is Richie Palacios.
Right. Well. Yes. Richie P.
He can play corner. He can play corner outfield. He played one game. I think he had one at bat this season. He hit a double.
Yeah.
So that's a 2,000 OPS on the year.
Right. Yeah. Best in baseball since Babe Ruth or something like that. And he turned off all qualifiers, and he's really good.
Because he's got something to it. Richie Palacios has something to him.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's got the weird, like, he can hit lefties and righties despite the fact that he's a left-handed hitter, which I really like. But he's another one. I don't want to compare him to Johnny DeLuca, because I think Johnny DeLuca is more solidified in center. But he's missed pretty much this whole season. Like, it's been a lost season for Richie P, which stinks. So who knows if he can stay healthy? It's just another one of those things. And it'd be great if he could figure it out, because he's also got the utility aspect. He can play some second. He can play either corner, really. I don't know if you want to watch him play center very often, but I guess theoretically you could throw him out there. He provides some value. Like, I definitely don't think that he's a guy you just cut loose, but at the same time, he's been injured, and I don't know the severity of his injuries at this point. Like, where is he in that rehab process or whatnot? So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if the Rays, deem that he's worth keeping on. I don't know. Richie's kind of a question mark too, even though he's talented enough to not be.
So to summarize, this offseason, we need to go get an outfielder.
Right. We've been talking about question marks. So yeah, it would be nice if they could find.
That's it. We got loads of like role players that all have can do some things well, but can't do enough well to be like a solid everydayer.
Right.
Which can get you so far. Like, Jake Mangum got us so far.
Right.
Like, he can go on a stretch for a month where he feels great. Like he did in April, May, he felt like Ichiro, right? And Cameron Meisner did that for a few weeks, who we've not mentioned, who could potentially, and then Chandler Simpson can be something for a minute. It's just nobody's like, oh, put them in the lineup every day.
100%.
We don't have a junior Caminero in the outfield where you go, oh, they just play every day.
Yeah, and that's disappointing, because it's not like it's it's not like they just I don't know. They're not exactly brimming with outfield talent in the minors either. Like, a lot of their prospects are sort of focused on infield, and then they've got some really talented starting pitching prospects. I don't know that it gets necessarily super better with internal options, unless the guys that we just mentioned manage to figure some stuff out. Maybe Xavier Isaac shifts to left. Good golly. I don't think that's the answer either. But I don't know what else to point at this point. Theo Gillum, he's in the minors. Braylor Guerrero, those are two, maybe potential corner outfield types, but they're so far away. Like we're talking, hopefully they'll be in a new stadium by the time those guys come up. But who knows about that either. But it's tough right now. It's definitely tough.
And we were talking about this before the show. It's a pretty weak free agent market out there as well.
Kyle Tucker, and then
Kyle Schwarber, you don't really want to play in the outfield. Actually, he's like a DH. Trent Grisham.
I think Cody Bellinger was someone else we brought up.
Cody Bellinger.
He has a player option, and even if he declines it, like, he'll probably pick up the Yankees.
a name to watch, I suppose. Like Ramon Laureano had a good year this year.
Oh man,
I
yeah,
know.
Ryan O'Hearn, I guess.
Yeah, I guess a name to watch. Jaron Duran. The Red Sox have a club option on him.
I just don't really like. They already have Taylor Walls. They don't need another one of those guys. Like I'm sorry, I don't mean to be
I'm not.
like,
I don't need you to expand. I don't
yeah,
need you to expand, but I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, I don't know because
Yeah.
Duran's had a solid year, and he's definitely improved quite a bit. That I think would take more prospect capital than I think the Rays would probably be willing to give up. He seems like the type of guy that AJ Preller would find more talented prospects to trade for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems maybe a bit more likely, but definitely a name to monitor for sure because the Red Sox have a lot of good outfielders like Roman Anthony, elite. Ceddanne Rafaela needs to be in center. They stop putting him at second, please, for the love of God. And then Willie Abreu in right. Willie Abreu might be a more interesting Rays type option because he has more low cost, controllable years remaining,
Mhm.
and he's pretty good. Like he's kind of an under the radar, really good player. So maybe Willie Abreu instead of Jaron Duran. I don't know. They have so many of those dang outfielders, but
I
we'll see
know.
how it
I
goes.
heard it. I heard it floated around the deadline. I don't know how true it was or anything like that, but I heard it was floated that the Red Sox were pretty keen on Yandy Diaz,
Right? Yeah,
and apparently something that I saw floated was a Ceddanne Rafaela for Yandy Diaz trade.
that is so bonkers to me because Ceddanne Rafaela, like I love Yandy. Yandy's great, but Ceddanne Rafaela's like super duper valuable, especially on his contract because he's on a very low dollar amount deal and his floor is super high because he plays like an elite center field. So even if he doesn't necessarily hit super well, he's still going to be super valuable. Yeah, if that could be pulled off, that would be awesome. Like I love Yandy, but Ceddanne Rafaela would be like a game changing type of player for sure. So yeah, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll revisit that in the off
For sure.
season.
Absolutely.
Maybe they ran out of time, or maybe the Red Sox, maybe even though I don't rate him, Craig Breslow was like, oh, actually, Rafael is kind of good. Actually, I shouldn't trade him. But yeah, so current state of the Rays. We're gonna talk about like we've talked a lot about like priorities and state of the Rays for the coming season. I think we'll finish off by talking about 2025.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
But before we do that, something that I know that you could go out and get right this second that would improve every aspect of your life is knowing when you got that fit on. You got A grade fit, okay? And you can do that by going to shop.rblrsports.com and picking yourself up some neat Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Bay Lightning, Bucks, Rowdies, Sun apparel. Rep your team. And you'll be looking fly. We've got some really great designs on there. And it's not just t-shirts. We've got hats as well. We've got other stuff. You should go take a look at shop.rblrsports.com. Browse. Have a look around. I mean, come on. You got nothing better to do on a Sunday while you get football on in the background.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And if you use the promo code FLAPPY, you get 10% off your entire order. No strings attached to that. You just need to use FLAPPY at checkout for 10% off shop.rblrsports.com. And while I'm here, while you're at rblrsports.com, you should also check out the Rays Roundtable every week. Carter is a contributor to the Rays Roundtable, so we already know we're going to be getting the top tier writing analysis. You're going to be getting some juicy stuff on there. And it's not just Carter. We've got some amazing writers that are all contributing to this roundtable. So you get kind of like a handful of mini articles in one about a bunch of different stuff. And it's awesome. And I highly recommend checking it out. What are you writing about for this week, Carter?
Outfielders, ironically enough. I know we were just talking about them. Just the really kind of bummer play that they've gotten from that group this year. And yeah, just kind of expanding on some of my thoughts and getting nitty gritty, might be putting it too fine a point on it, but just getting into it a little bit more. But yeah, come for the other people. The other people are wonderful. They do some great work. And then mine's just kind of thrown in the middle for space, but
so modest, too modest.
Yeah, I don't know about modest, but Yeah,
You leave the inability to take a compliment to the British. Thank you.
that's right.
So in terms of the 2025 race, obviously we were sold a dream in June, and since then it's been pretty catastrophic, pretty diabolical. But they've just swept the Nats. They've had a good week, and they've got a really big week ahead. I would say perhaps the season hinges on this week, where they are coming home for 7 games against the Mariners and the Guardians. 2 people direct competition for those wild card spots. If they can come away with a couple of series wins, they've got 3 games against the Mariners, 4 against the Guardians. If they could come away with series wins in each of those 2 series, they are going to be like, let's say they take 3 or 4 versus the Guardians. That'll leapfrog them in the standings. 2 or 3 versus the Guardians. That could realistically put them like 2 or 3 games out of the wildcard spot.
Yeah, we've been saying this every week because unfortunately sort of played themselves
since 2024.
Right. Yeah, really. The past 2 seasons, unfortunately, like they've played themselves into this corner where games are unfortunately really important right now. And I know it's August and September baseball, so it's important for everyone. But yeah, if the Rays do have any aspirations of making a postseason run, this is probably sort of, if they can win a lot of games this week, if they can, like you said, 2 out of 3 and 3 out of 4, I'm pretty confident. I don't want to say pretty confident, but I'm confident that things can be very interesting towards the end of the season. If they do not do that, if they lose both of these series, like let's watch some Carson Williams. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the vibe. But hey, crazier things have happened. Like you said, they just swept the Nationals. They managed to not get swept by the Guardians on the road. And they've been playing pretty well at home this year. They've got that weird George M. Steinbrenner factor where, weird stuff can happen at that field. So, hopefully they can turn things around. I'll be at the game tomorrow and Thursday. So, for better or for worse. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, Thursday, they're throwing out their best of the Mariners. They're lined up to have Castillo, Wu, and then Kirby.
That is tough. Those are 3. I mean, Castillo struggled as of late, but Wu and Kirby have been hot recently. I mean, Wu has been great all year, and Kirby has been really picking it up. I think he spent some time on the injured list, and he's come back sort of with a vengeance. And the Mariners are a good ball club. It's not like that they're not playing the Nationals, that's for sure. They're not playing the Rockies or anything like that. Like the Mariners have things to play for, and they've got the talent to win these games. So it's no given that the Rays can take this series at all. I don't know. It'll be a homecoming for Randy, sort of. So that'll be kind of fun. I'm hoping that the tribute video is cool because I'll be there tomorrow, and they've been doing that with former Rays, like they did it with Sean Armstrong and Andrew Kittredge. So
so they got to do it for Randy.
Exactly, like they got to do it for Randy if that's who they're doing it for too. So
what did they show in the Sean Armstrong package?
I gotta stick up for Army here because his package was actually kind of cool. Like the video highlights were kind of fun, and like when he was right, Armstrong was actually like a really good reliever.
He was decent.
Yeah, he was very good. He had the sub-2 ERA season where he was like coming out of the pen and throwing 1 or 2 innings like once every few days. But then that second season, it was like, oh, okay, that's who Sean Armstrong is. But yeah, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, I'm excited for the Randy one for sure.
100%. I think it'll be quite emotional for him as well. In Seattle, we got swept by the Mariners last month. So we've got a point to prove to go back and go get them. I mean, a sweep of the Mariners would be
elite.
Huge.
Yeah, I'm not counting on that, but that would be fun.
It would be fun. And then we're against Castillo. We're lined up to have bars. And then Rasmussen Wu, that'll be a fun pitchers duel.
That'll be
And then Hauser Kirby.
Yeah, I think the Castillo one, just because Baz is pitching, is unfortunately maybe an automatic L. Boz has just been so rough. Like
Mhm.
he's coming back from Tommy John, so I'm not out on Shane Boz or anything, but it's been rough recently. So hopefully he can prove me wrong. Hopefully he can tell me to shove it. But it's been brutal recently. So I'm not super confident because Mariners are a good hitting ball club too. You know, they traded for Naylor, they got Suarez, who hasn't been great for them, but he's still he's still a name. And then Randy's been hitting. Julio Rodriguez is in the second half, so he's turned into God self.
And then Big Dumpy.
Exactly. We haven't even gotten to the future hopeful AL MVP. Like that's what's crazy about this Mariners team. They've got this pretty good pitching staff, but their lineup has turned from like a huge weakness where you're like, wow, Justin Turner's their DH. That's abysmal to like, oh goodness gracious, this is actually a pretty good team. So yeah, definitely going to be a tough series against them. But you know, it's baseball. Anything can happen. It's crazy. It's a crazy game. So maybe some crazy stuff can happen this week.
We're just going to bring our best stuff and hope. And then the Guardians, I think, it was a 50-50 series. Like that rubber game could have went either way.
Yeah, it was a tough one to lose, but yeah, just stuff happens. Sometimes you hang a breaking ball to Nolan Jones and he hits it for his like fifth home run of the year or something stupid. It's like, oh, God dang it.
Yeah, Shane Baz can do that. But he's not going to be pitching in that series. Actually, he will be because he's pitching the first Mariners series. He'll pitch in the Cleveland series as well. So he could do that. Just stop throwing the slider cutter thing. Just never throw it again because that's the thing he always hangs, and it always ends up 500 feet away.
Yeah, it's tough. But hopefully he'll figure it out. He's still got the massive hammer of a breaking ball and the fastball that just explodes. So, you know, he's still got the stuff. He's still got the talent for sure. But yeah, we'll see.
I think anything below 5-2.
My 4-3, it's still passable. But yeah, if it's not at least above 500, then they're done probably. Yeah.
In this, So when we turn up next week, if the annoying thing is the Rays do this where we'll declare that this week is the week where we figure out what to do, and then they play like 500.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, we still don't really know. And it's like, oh, like this is kind of annoying.
So now that we've said it, we're going 4-3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But if we go 5-2, I'm in.
Oh yeah.
We're making the playoffs. And if we do better than 5-2, if we go 6-1 or like 7-0, I feel weird even saying that.
I know, right?
That if we go 7-0, then we're winning the World Series.
Right. Yes. 7-0, and I do genuinely think they have a real shot at making the playoffs. But we'll see. It's going to be a tough week.
Yeah,
it's going to
be a tough week and a big week. And then we got a week against Chicago. Like it's an entire week in Chicago where we do a road trip to the White Sox and then Cubs.
Oh.
I know. And then it's all AL East from then on out. Blue Jays, Red Sox, Orioles, Blue Jays.
Yeah, a lot of divisional matchups. That AL East crown I think is sort of secure. I think the Red Sox and Yankees and Blue Jays are going to play too well down the stretch to really have any chance of the Rays catching them. But maybe that third wild card spot, maybe one of those teams falls off enough to where the Rays can catch them. But we'll see. Those will be some big games too if the Rays can manage to stay in the hunt.
100%. There's some winnable games there. The Orioles and White Sox aren't great.
Right.
It feels like the Cubs are like they're still pretty good, but like they've been a bit like less good lately.
Right. Yeah. Tucker's finally figured it out though. He had that stretch where he was like not great, but he's back to that's Kyle Tucker. Like So.
Yeah, he's like I've got to get paid this offseason.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
So currently Fangraphs has us at 1.8% chance to make the playoffs. So we'll see. I mean, if we go 5-2 or above this week, then I would put those odds at like 5%.
Yeah, I would maybe if 5-2 or 6-1. I think I would shoot up to maybe 10 or 15%. Even getting crazy, I know, but
Yeah, 6-1. I'd go above 10%.
Yeah,
and then if we go 7-0 and we're on a 10-game winning streak the next time we talk, then I'm saying like World Series odds 55%.
There you go.
So what I guess the last thing before we shoot out is Carson Williams made his debut last week.
Yeah, Carson was great.
And you know what? He's been playing pretty well.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. And he's going to be great defensively. So it almost like it matters how he hits, but not nearly as much. So yeah, Carson Williams, man, he's exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I wanted to just draw attention to because I missed it last week. And I was like, yeah, Carson Williams. I know. And yeah, basically, it's right in front of us. And we use it a lot on the pod, but it's right in front of us. If we just go do it. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of RBLR Rays. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully, we've convinced you now to leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed what you've heard. Be sure to subscribe so you know whenever a video is dropping. And thank you to Luke for dropping some comments and some contributing to the discussion. You can do the same if you like and subscribe, because then you'll know when we're going live, and you can get in there during the live shows and drop some comments as well and discuss with us. But until then, we're going to love you, leave you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, raise up.
Raise up.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.